Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back. I'm your host, Cardmaster Phoenix, bringing us another Cardfight Vanguard area deck profile, where I take all the archetypes in the entire game from alphabetically organize them from A to Z and deck profile them. This time we'll be featuring Ancient Dragons. So, my friend Silver is actually very, very, very good with this deck. He's practically the god of it. But recently I just decided, screw it, why not build it? So I built it, and let's just go ahead and hop into it. So what most people used to run was Ancient Dragon Baby Rex, which is a pretty good starter, but it's not the best. I personally like Ancient Dragon Baby Bird better. So the way this works is during your, first of all, of course, is the Forerunner skill. During your turn, when this unit is put into the drop zone from rear guard, when it's retired from rear guard, choose up to 2 of your other units with Ancient Dragon in their card name. And both of them get 3,000 power until the end of the turn. So, first of all, it means, by when it says up to 2, it doesn't have to be 2. It's not like you only can choose 2 or you don't get the effect. It says up to 2. Another thing to watch out for is that it can boost a column by 6k, since it's plus 3k to 2 units. Normally I'll go with that strategy where I boost a column, but you don't necessarily have to. If you want, you can give it to the Vanguard, or you can just make it to where your opponent will have to throw down an extra 10k shield to guard the attack of a rear guard attack. But yeah, just moving on, we have, that's our starter. Moving on, we have the trigger lineup, of course. We're running 8 crit, 4 stand, and 4 heal. So, for our first critical trigger, we're running 4 copies of Black Cannon Tiger. Automatically on rearguard circle, when an attack hits during the bout this unit boosted, you may soul charge 1 card, meaning you take the top card of your deck and put it into your soul. And if you do, return this unit to your deck and shuffle your deck, which is of course good for A, an extra 4k boost to a unit that normally wouldn't hit, and B, you can have it recycle back into the deck for an extra trigger that might come up later, in this case being a critical trigger, so that's very good. If you really wanted to, if you think you'll have enough, you can ride a 7k Vanguard such as Gatling Gara, and then you'll have him swing at the Vanguard, and then hopefully you'll get a trigger, and you'll have that boost up your Baby Bird, who will be in the front row, and Black Cannon Tiger will support it, which will be a total of 14k at the Vanguard. They probably won't guard it. They'll take the hit, and then you'll get to shuffle the critical trigger back into the deck. So that's good. Moving on, we also have 4 copies of Ancient Dragon Dino Dial. So automatically on rearguard circle, put this unit into your soul, and if you have a touch of Kaze Clan Vanguard, choose a card from your damage zone and turn it face up. So it's basically a grade 0 worse version of Ancient Dragon Gyroconda, but we'll get to that in a bit. So that's it for the critical triggers. Moving on to stand triggers, you have 4 copies of Ancient Dragon Chaotic Bird. By far the best stand in not only the archetype or deck slash not only the best in the deck, it's not only the best in the archetype but in the entire clan. So automatic, counterblast 1. When this unit is put into drop zone from the rearguard circle when it's retired, if you have a Vanguard with Ancient Dragon in its card name, you may pay the cost, and if you do, call this card back to rearguard circle. So basically, you're getting a free advantage. All you gotta just pay the cost to counterblast 1, and it's almost as if you didn't even retire this card in the first place. So that's very nice. Other than that, it's just good because you can, if it's a dead draw, you can guard with it, or if you want to call it, that way you can get not only the 3 cards that you need to retire for the Vanguard skill of Tyranno Legend, but also just for the fact that it's going to go very well with cards like Black Cannon Tiger if you decide to call that, or it's already out in your field for whatever reason. So, for that, it's very good. Another thing is, I have a bad habit of drawing all my triggers, of course not by choice, but I just end up doing that. So, this really helps that, because, this deck really helps that, because almost all your triggers do something, and do something amazing. Well, all your triggers do something, and all of them are amazing. So, which is of course why I'm running them. Anyway, moving on to the heal trigger. We have 4 copies of Artillery Dragon, Flint Tank, Flint Tank, Flint Tank Yellow, Flint Tank Low. I'm the worst at card names. Automatic, choose one grade 1 or less card from your hand and discard it. When this unit is discarded, it's a cost to call Barrage, Gigantic Cannon, Bullish Primer from your G-Zone. You may pay a cost, and if you do, draw a card. So that's pretty sweet. And we'll wrap up both the grade 0s and all of the, that'll wrap up both the trigger lineup and all the grade 0s. Moving on to the grade 1s, we have a total of 4, 8, 12, 16, 18 of them. So yes, we're running quite a lot of grade 1s. We have 2 copies of Ancient Dragon Gyoconda. So this card's more like my personal tech for the deck. Not only is it an ancient dragon name, but it also really helps us with our counterblasting, since we use that for extra pressure with the Vanguard, and we just in general counterblast a decent bit. So, automatic Soul Blast 2. When this unit is placed in a rearguard circle, you may pay the cost, and if you do, choose up to 2 cards from your damage zone and turn them face up. Other than that, it's just 5k, it's pretty worthless. So you can use it as retire fodder. And moving on, we have 4 copies of Ancient Dragon Iguana Gorg. So this is basically just like this card, only the grade 1 version. Counterblast 1 when this unit's retired when this unit's retired due to an effect of one of your cards. If you have a Vanguard with Ancient Dragon in its card name, you pay the cost. If you do this, call this card back to rearguard circle. So again, it's like you pay to bring it back. It's basically like you're basically paying to bring it back to where it has the appearance of it not being gone in the first place. So for counterblasting 2, you're getting 2 free units back. So ideally, you'll have 1 of this, or 2 of this, or 2 of this, 1 of this, whatever the case may be. You'll always want units that can get themselves back. That way you're not losing anything except for counterblast, and then you're not losing counterblast either because of this card. So that's very good. Moving on, we have 4 copies of Ancient Dragon Gatling Arrow. It's all one word. It's cohesive in one word. A Gatling Arrow with a G at both the beginning and at the beginning of both letters, at the beginning of both words, and the TCG. But here it's pronounced Gatling Arrow as 2 separate words with an A for the arrow on the second at the beginning of the second word, of course, which is kind of weird. And this is just a 10k attacker. So I'm gonna make Vanguard a rearguard circle, which is one of your rearguards to Ancient Dragon and its card name, and retire it. And when this unit attacks a Vanguard, you may pay the cost. If you do, that unit gains plus 5,000 power until the end of that battle. Now I'll go ahead and say this: the best 3 retired units is this, and this, or some combination. Because these 2 cards automatically are brought back to life, and this gives 6k to the column, so that's amazing. Combos off really well. Then we have 4 copies of Prison Bird, which is Stride Fodder. We don't gotta worry about its master unit, since it's a herald unit, bringing up the Great Big Guy, because we don't run any of those. I don't run that in this deck. But we just use it for Stride Fodder, and occasionally Damage Fodder, Ride Fodder, whatever. Same with this. I guess the best ride would probably be this. But anyway, and the backup ride target would, I guess, be this. Moving on to run the grade 1 lineup, we have 4 copies of Ancient Dragon Palace Wall, which is, again, a weird card name change from Palace Wall to Paris Wall. Paraswall. It's weird. But anyway. It's got the Sentinel ability, meaning of course you can only have up to 4 copies with 4 cards of Sentinel on the deck. And choose up to 1 of your Tachikaze clan units from your hand and discard it. When this unit is placed in a guardian circle, you may pay the cost if you do choose 1 of your Tachikaze clan units. It's being attacked, and that unit cannot be hit until the end of the battle. Now, since it's a perfect guard and a perfect guard G, this can also guard rearguard attacks. I know it doesn't really matter, but I'm just throwing that out there because it might make a difference, and it's an Ancient Dragon name. And if you have to ride it, it sucks. Anyway, so that rounds up the grade 1 lineup. Move on to the grade 2s. We're only running 10 of them. I'm sorry, 8 of them, I'm sorry. So to start off, we're running 2 copies of Ancient Dragon Cryola Fall. This is obviously the main ideal grade 2 ride target. And the other is just damage fodder, retire fodder, just whatever, really. I'm sorry. I've been really tired lately. Basically, the way this card works is it's just a 10k vanilla. It's easy to guard with it on the Vanguard circle. It's good for hitting with. It's just good for basically everything. All around good card, I'd say. Moving on to the next card, I have 2 copies of Ancient Dragon Dino Cloud, which is actually called Ancient Dragon Dino Crowd, as in crowd as in a large group of people. At least they put it all together in one word like it is, but in the TCG, or at least in real life, but whatever. So on a map, on the Vanguard or Rearguard circle, choose one of your Tachikaze Rearguards, your Ancient Dragon clan. Just choose one of your Rearguards, your Ancient Dragon, its card name, and retire it. And when this unit attacks Vanguard, you may pay the cost for you. This unit gains plus 5,000 power until the end of the battle. So that's pretty good, I guess. Finally, we have lining up the grade 2 lineup. We have 4 copies of Ancient Dragon Mimiklo, and this is nothing really special. It's just the 12k attacker for the clan. So, on my Vanguard circle, when this unit attacks, we have a Vanguard with Ancient Dragon's card name. This unit gains plus 2,000 power until the end of the battle. So, it's basically just a special 12k attacker. It's archetype specific hit, that's why I say a special. Or archetype specific if you prefer that. Honestly, I just thought this was going to be a special intercept when I first saw it. I think it'd be like a 10-15k intercept shield, but whatever. It's no big deal. Moving on to grade 3 lineup, we have 7 of them, which is 3 copies of Ancient Dragon Spinal Driver. This is on our limit break 4, which is active if you have 4 or more damage. Choose 2 of your Tachikaze Real Guards and retire them. When a Tachikaze clan unit rides this unit, you may pay the cost, and if you do, draw 2 cards. Also, choose one of your Vanguards, and that unit gains plus 10,000 power and goes critical until the end of the turn. And also has a automatic Vanguard skill. When this unit attacks, the number of rearguards you have is more than your opponent's. This unit gains plus 2,000 power until the end of the battle, which is actually really good considering most of your units come back when they're retired anyway. And of course, it has its Lord skill. Moving on, we also have 4 copies of Ancient Dragon Tyranno Legend, which is basically the first boss monster of the deck. So, automatic Vanguard lineup break. This ability is active if you have 4 or more damage. Choose 3 of your rear guards. Choose 3 of your rear guards with Ancient Dragon's card name and retire them. When this unit attacks a Vanguard, you may pay the cost. If you do, this unit gains plus 10,000 power and yet again will go critical until the end of the battle. And also on Vanguard Circle, you can counterblast 2 Ancient Dragon and same cards, and this unit gains plus 5,000 power until the end of the turn, so it's in a special counterblast. With the Lord skill, of course. Now, normally you'll, of course, want to ride this first, and then break ride Tyranno Legend on top of Spinal Driver. That way it's plus 20k plus 2 crit if you get rid of your field, only you're not getting technically rid of your field. You're bringing pretty much your both columns of the rearguard columns back, except for the one that boosts the Vanguard, but you don't need that anyway. Because at this point, that's 31 with 3 crit, not even worrying about Twin Drive, so, I mean, it's really great pressure. And even if you can only do one, it's perfectly fine. But anyway, that's it for the grade 3 lineup and the main deck lineup. So, moving on to the G Zone. This one's a little weird. We're running 1 copy of Destruction Tyrant Arch Raider. So first of all, it of course has its Stride skill. And automatic Vanguard, Stride ability right there. It's printed there. You can just go ahead and read it. And automatic on the Vanguard circle, choose one of your rear guards and retire it. And when this unit attacks the Vanguard, you may pay a cost. If you do, until the end of the battle, this unit gains 5,000 power. So it's basically like Dino Crowd. And automatic Vanguard, when this unit's attack hits a Vanguard, choose one of your opponent's rear guards and retire it. So I guess it's kind of an ideal first Stride. How often you'll go into it, I guess, just depends on the player. But obviously, we can go into it once max on this particular build, but you won't use it more than once, really, because, you're probably gonna let at least one G unit hit, but other than that, there's no real point, because who's really gonna let more than one G unit Vanguard attack hit? Like, for real? Who's gonna no guard that? But anyway, Moving on, we also have one copy of Destruction Tyrant Twin Tempest. So, of course, it first off has the stride ability, and I'm just going to call it the stride text from now on. And automatic on the Vanguard Circle, Generation Break 2, and Counter Blast 2, and Soul Blast 2, as well as choosing 3 of your rear guards and retiring them. And at the end of the battle, this unit attack the Vanguard. If you may pay the cost, and if you do, retire all of each player's rear guards. It's pretty hefty cost, but I mean, it's a field nuke. If you feel like paying all your counter blast to just use this guy's ability and maybe bring back the units you're destroying twice in a row. So, yeah, now you see why I'm only running one copy of it. This is really just like a last resort. Moving on, we also have, well, I meant to do that before this, but whatever. We also have one copy of Destruction Tyrant Greta Gigant. So, of course, it's got the Engorge, which is the command keyword. So, it has automatic Vanguard Guard Circle Engorge. When this unit attacks, you may retire one of your or more of your guards, and if you do, it is considered engorged until end of turn. Automatic on the Vanguard Circle. When this unit becomes engorged, until end of turn, this unit gains plus 5,000 power for each unit retired during this turn due to this effect, and of the units with the engorge ability. And if the number of units retired due to this effect during this turn was 3 or more, you may draw a card. So it's pretty simple, pretty sweet. So yeah, I'm sorry, I really did meant to do that one first, but I guess it doesn't really matter. Moving on, we have 2 copies of Great Emperor Dragon Guide Dynast. This is Stride and Engorge. You know what both those do now. And it has 2 other abilities. Automatic Vanguard Generation Break 3. When this unit retires one of your rear guards, you may pay the cost, Counter Blast 1. And if you do, call out card to rear guard, and this unit gains plus 3,000 power until the end of the turn. Automatic Vanguard Circle, it also has this skill. Automatic on the Vanguard Circle, choose a face down card, name this card, so Persona Flip. Remember to use it and turn it face up. When this unit becomes engorged, you may pay the cost, and if you do, choose one of your rear guards. Retire all of the rear guards in the same column as that unit and counter charge 1. So I guess that's pretty nifty. Honestly, I just use both copies of this as reveal fodder for G assists, but whatever. I guess it doesn't really matter. I guess you can use this or some combination, whatever you want, really. If you're gonna use this, you might as well get rid of both copies, though, since it needs to be ran in multiples of 2. Since it Persona flips itself. Kind of like everyone else that Persona flips themselves. Next up, we have 2 copies of Super Ancient Dragon, Periditan. So first off, it's got that stride skill, the stride ability, whatever, stride text, and auto. When this unit is placed on the Vanguard Circle, and you have a heart with Ancient Dragon in its card name, you may choose a rear guard of all fighters and retire them, and increase this unit's power by the sum of the original power of the retired units with this unit until the end, and then return. And then, if the sum of the original power retired by this effect is at least 20,000 or more, this unit gains a critical, so it goes critical until the end of the turn. So it's amazing. I really like going into this. It's a pretty decent first stride if you want to. I mean, is it better than what that other one is? I guess it's a game by game kind of scenario, so you just kind of decide what you want to do there. But anyway, moving on. We have 4 copies of Absolute King Gluttony Dogma. Well, I'm making all kinds of mistakes today. So first off, it's got the stride text and the engorge ability, or I guess I should just call it the keyword because that's exactly what it is, the clan keyword. And automatic on the Vanguard Circle, Generation Break 2, and Persona Flip. And then when this unit becomes engorged, and if you retire 3 or more units during the turn, use the engorged clan keyword. Or I guess I should just go ahead and say his skill, his engorged skill. You may pay the cost, and if you do, until the end of the turn, this unit gains plus 10,000 power and automatic Vanguard Circle. Once a turn, at the end of the battle, this unit attacked. If you attacked 5 or more units during this turn due to the effect of this unit's Engorge ability, stand this unit, and this unit gets -1 drive until end of turn. So it's basically 2 attacks with 5 drive. So that's pretty good, I guess. Is it worth getting rid of your entire field? Obviously, if you're going for this, you're going to want to get rid of your rear guard's ability to attack. So you want to attack with your rear guards first, both your rear guards first, and then the Vanguard, and then attack with the Vanguard again. And then I guess you could technically bring them back when you use the skills of a Gornagorg and the stand trigger and stuff like that, but it's just whatever, really. So that wraps up our stride units, except for this little bugger right here. Xerath Dragon of Inferno Drachma. So, Ultimate Stride. Released when the number of face-up cards in your G-Zone is 3 or more. When it would return to your G-Zone, exclude your G-Zone. Just remove the entire G-Zone from play. And Stride Step. I'm sorry. I just cannot talk now. Choose a card with the same name as the card name on your Vanguard circle and discard it, and stride this card on your Vanguard from face down in the G-Zone. Basically, this is really good if you're in Legion, because you can discard either of the Legion pairs, either of the Legion cards for it as cost, which makes it a little bit easier, but even if not, it shouldn't be that hard. Also, automatic on the Vanguard Circle, Counterblast 2. When this unit is placed on the Vanguard Circle, you may pay the cost, and if you do, retire and bind all your opponent's rear guards. Great. Oh, I'm sorry, all your opponent's units, not just rear guards, units, and bind them face up. Then your opponent chooses 3 cards from his or her hand, and discards 2 from among them. And then rides a card among them out of those 3 on Vanguard Circle as stand. The Vanguard is retired as well. He or she rides a card from the soul, and if there are no cards in the hand, he or she loses the game if it is not possible to do anything. I'm done. I'm just done. Anyway. Anyway. I will give you credit, though. You're not the worst stride to ever hit the game. You're not the worst ultimate stride to ever hit the game. That's your only saving grace. You are very annoying. I almost swore there. But you're lucky that other stride that's coming out. You're lucky, cause that one, whew. But you're bad. You're just not as bad. Alright? I don't know why I'm actually pointing at it on my screen, but anyway. Finally, wrap up both. So that wraps up the G units, slash stride units. Move on to wrap up the entire G zone, as well as the G Guardians and entire deck itself. We have Barrage, Gigantic Cannon, Boris Primer. So it's just a G Guardian. You guys know how that works. Just discard a heal trigger and call it. From the G zone face up. Generation Break 1, on Auto Generation Break 1, choose a face down G Guardian from your G zone and turn it face up. When this unit is placed on Guardian Circle, you may pay the cost, and if you do, this unit gains plus 5,000 shield for each of your open circles until the end of that battle. So it's kind of like that other one from the last deck file. So, yeah. Hope you guys did enjoy. Thank you guys so much for watching. I've been your host, Cardmaster Phoenix, signing out. See you guys next time. Have a good one.